Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Ingram Microcloud Site Bites. We have Carolyn Geck, Public Sector Program Manager with Ingram Microcloud, here with us today. She will introduce our newest value-added services covering grants, analytics, and proposal services for resellers. Each soundbite gives insight on Ingram Microcloud services, resources, and different programs and offerings we deliver to help support you on your partner journey to the cloud. You can access these sound bites on the Ingram Micro Cloud Public Sector YouTube playlist. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce Carolyn Geck.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by and coming to learn about our new value added service. My name is Carolyn Gack, and I just wanted to let you first know a little bit about me and a little bit about the processes that we're going to be doing so we can help you really learn about the grant funds and be able to service your public sector partners better. I just want to mention that I've been doing these grants for like 25 plus years, and I'm definitely a subject matter in the grants and nationally kind of recognized in being able to aid numerous entities in their grant seeking experience. I also have come with 20 years experience in public sector roles, grant roles, either grant writing, grant manager, pre-award and post-award. I've been super lucky in terms of having an extensive track record of winning large awards. Some of them are multi-partner consortium awards, really pulling out there on the nationwide scene. I also do full grant lifecycle activities within the grant. So it's not just the grant writing, but also the grant management after we get the grant. I do want to mention also that I do have a graduate degree in urban planning, which really lends nicely to really be able to implement these grant projects within our public sector entities. Another thing I do want to mention is that we've also kind of uplifted these services. We're going to be using Grants Office LLC. They've been around for 30 years or more, and they're highly knowledgeable in providing data analytics and also other technology support to really help us match these grant funds with technology projects. Um, I did kind of want to come back and see, like, why are we actually doing all of these public sector grant funds? Well, I really want to mention first and foremost that our public sector entity partners are very well nested with federal, state, and local grants. They're very highly coupled together and they go hand in hand. A large part of their budget, anywhere from 10 to 30%, is actually funded through grant revenue sources. And it's an extremely vast and complicated grant landscape. And I'm going to show you here in a little bit on this next slide the vast and complex landscape of grant spending. So here we are, we're looking at all of this public funding. So we have $150 billion in grants funding in just this year. And I know a lot of us don't really realize that there's this large of a pot of money in terms of grants. And I really kind of just wanted to bring that out to you. Grants is really a backbone for all public sector entities. And they kind of do this, the government comes in, and it doesn't matter if it's a federal or if it's a state level, but they do kind of come in for two primary reasons. One would be reactive. So what happens here, something happens, like the Oakland shooting in Florida, the school shooting, something can happen. So then, or we can look at the pandemic. So the government is going to come back and respond and try to come up with some solutions to try to fix these type of situations. So often grants can be reactive to something that's coming out. But grants can also be very proactive. So what the governments are trying to do is really kind of change some of the ways that government entities, regardless if it's a region, education institutions, are doing things, and they would like them to really to move into some more non-conventional methods to really solve some of these age-old problems. A good example of that would have been back several years ago when the Race to the Top came out, and the US government, through the Department of Education, was really wanting to beef up some of the school system's record keeping with technology solutions. And what they did in that particular instance, they funded about 8 or 10 projects. And then today you can see nationwide, every school district in this country has some type of technology solution, not only managing their records, but also delivering educational systems. And to kind of move on from there, I just kind of want to go into our next slide where I really want to just kind of pinpoint simply what our services are really going to be surrounding about. So basically, in our first box over here, the extensive data analytics and capture grant opportunities with the little clock in there, what are really our first kind of call to order is to really to take that expansive landscape that we saw on the first slide, that whole country and 150 billion. What does that really mean? So what we're doing here, and especially with our partnerships with Grant LLC, is really going to be able to provide you up to date information on grant opportunities that are going to be coming out for public sector entities. And they're going to be covering two types of grants. One would be the formula grants, and the other would be the competitive grants. Now, the formula grants are allocations that are automatically coming to each state, and the competitive grants are different opportunities in which state, local, and regional entities can apply to different U.S. federal agencies in order to get even further funding for their projects. The next box, I want to kind of really discuss the expertise from nationally recognized grant experts. I think this is really important because there's a lot of grant writers out there, but really the ones that actually know how to get grants and have a track record of actually winning them are really what we want to be able to capture for you all. So we can really narrow down in capturing technology projects and matching them with their local landscapes to come up with compelling applications. Another service that we're going to be providing is grant writing. So we can write narratives, we can do budgets, we can do project assembly for all the different documents that are coming out, and we can again be analyzing the projects that are going to go into the grant application to ensure that they're going to be competitive for selection. And lastly, we will be providing full grant lifecycle services. So getting the grant is half the battle. The other half is actually managing it and ensuring that the funds are spent in accordance with the compliance procedures of the funder. Now, as to how we actually are going to do this, I'm going to show you another little graph over here that I've put together for us. So if we start up over here in number one, if you look at number one up here, you can see the first call to order here is really finding out what grants are coming out. And we're going to be doing forecasting, pipeline on grant revenue streams, and having that all available for you. We'll also be doing snapshots so you can really learn quickly and easily what the grant opportunity funds and who would be the best fit for it. From there, we're going to move on over to number two, and we can see here where we're taking this grant opportunity, and we want to help you be able to match it with the best customer that you are working with. So if it's a higher education grant, it would go there. If it's a transportation grant, then you'd be working with the transportation sectors. So it kind of depends on what type of grant that the grant is really seeking to fund. And from there, we're going to move on over to number three. And here again comes this technical assistance, this kind of expertise type things. And we're going to be doing webinars, meetings. We can do one-on meetings to support your customers in developing project ideas with technology solutions. And here we'll be going over exactly what the funder is looking for. Similar to contracts, there's just numerous rules and instructions and documents and processes within the grant application process. And from there, we're going to move over to number four, over in the light blue over there. We're going to offer grant writing. So we can actually put proposals together. We can assist with developing budgets, addendums, and grant package submittal preparation. After the grant goes in, we're going to move straight on down to number five. And here we go. Okay, did we get it or did we not get it? And then if we received it, then we will be looking at going into procurement and post-award assistance. And lastly, once you start doing this process with your public sector partners, you'll see that you're going to be winning them, and you can easily recreate this with other partners within your geographic boundaries. Again, this is just basically an overview of all the different services that we have for you. And the why is here. The why is because it is a tremendous amount of work for not only technology businesses, but even the public sector entities to really know when are grants coming out, how do we apply for them, what is the complicated process? It is a complex public process. So we're doing all that heavy lifting for you, and we're going to translate all that kind of stuff in really easy, bite-sized information pieces for you to understand and to assist with your customers. And lastly, I just want to thank you for your time. If you feel like you want to reach out to me and discuss any questions or discuss different grant projects, please feel so freely to do so at any time. Again, thank you.